Hey guys, sorry about that. I just got cut off as soon as I said 5G, so that's very interesting. There was plenty of space on my iPad. I'm not sure why it cut off. So that was very interesting. So again, 5G was coming up to remind your kids, if they have a choice between 5G and regular on their connections, to choose the non-5G connections. And then the masculine energy going out of this read was the Ace of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Luna, or the Moon. So new passion, new life, nearing the new moon on the 22nd here, April 22nd. The summary for this read was the Nine of Cups, the Get Your Wish card, with the 6 rays of Mary Magdalene coming up here again, transmuting dogma into spirituality. So the number that came up with this read was 70, which is the Two of Pentacles, right? Creating your new patterns and doing the dance. The Queen of Wands, destined to burden, and the transformation dance of the Tower energy, which is epiphanies and sudden events, of the Hangman, right? So coming off of Easter, destined, magician, and the Hermit in a juggling act. Some of the other energies from this read really quick were the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords was the underlying energy, Six of Cups was the center energy, and then the Nine of Cups was the closing energy. So heartbreak to hugs to wish. And then also some of the other energies I was getting here was the Ten of Swords to the Ace of Wands. So transmuting to new passion, right? So Ten of Wands to the Ace, Ten of Swords to the Ace of Wands. It's like transmuting that pain, ending it, and turning it into that new passion, creativity. The Eight of Wands to the Ace of Pentacles is the energetic exchange, using that energetic exchange to create a new life. And then the Strength to the Moon, I was just getting soon. And the new moon is coming right up. All right, so the second union read, which is 211 now on the second part of the video since the first one cut off. This union read was done at 146, the Magician and the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups was the middle of that read, and now it's the time for this read, so it's very much a common thread here. Again, it's the 18th, and the 26th is the day, the number the day adds up to, the Page of Wands and the Moon. So the second union read was the underlying energy of the world. I'll show it to you again real quick since I showed them to you already, but so this was the second read. Okay, so you see the central energy is the Nine of Pentacles, the underlying energy is the world, and the closing energy is the Eight of Cups. Let's just get that in real quick. All right, so this read, the world as the underlying energy going to the center, the main energy for the read is the Nine of Pentacles, the Sovereign, ascension of the Sovereign, healthy, wealthy, and wise. The underlying divine feminine as the King of Cups, the Seven of Wands, and the Hanging Man, unconditional love, rising above to tango perhaps, hanging out, being wise, and feminine dealing with right anger blocks today. The 3D is the karma of the, it's like the Judgment card, Page of Swords and Nine of Wands. So the divine feminine in karma or judgment or making choices, and the divine masculine, the wounded warrior, perhaps in surrender and bridging via the Page of Swords, the message or the news, perhaps a child of light and truth, but also it's incomplete, right? Because page energy, but it is a start, right? So the 40 here is the Two of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, and the Six of Wands, the journeyman. And the Two of Wands is the twin flames, the choice of path. So the divine feminine in the 4D, the twin flame, choosing a path, the divine masculine leading the way with good news and success, and then bridging the two via the Nine of Pentacles, both of their sovereignty, each independent. The 5D is the Two of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the Nine of Swords, the divine feminine in surrender, in manifestation of surrender. There's two different surrender cards in this deck, very much, the Wounded Warrior and the Two of Pentacles. So Pentacles is more surrendering in the physical, whereas the Wand energy is more surrendering your desires, your energies, right? So the divine masculine is purging and suffering in silence, and bridging the two of those, the surrender and the purge, via the Queen of Swords, who's got her left hand, the feminine hand, on the truth. Okay, the divine masculine may feel judged in the 3D, or be receiving a judgment or a final decision or an announcement, purging in the 5D and leading in the 4D. The Divine Feminine is 3D karma of the 4D twin flame, so perhaps being judged for being a twin flame, and in her 5D surrender. The bridge between them is the 3D news, the 4D sovereignty, and the 5D Queen of Swords with a handle on the truth. The Divine Masculine Wounded Warrior in physical surrender, news of final judgment, perhaps good news, and leading the way to purging it out under the radar. Going out of the read in the masculine is the Starseed, the Reason, which is the Emperor, Starseed is the Fool, and the Ace of Cups. So there's a fresh start, giving up the false hand, the right false hand of the masculine, to be love, and then summarizing the read in walking away and within. The King of Cups to the Starseed, the Seven of Wands to the Reason or the Emperor, and the Hangman to the Ace of Cups. And those three things translated as unconditional love and a fresh start, mission and rising above the drama to understand the reason, and then hung out to find self-love and then walk away. So ascension to the sovereignty to the Eight of Cups, walking away and within, ascending to sovereignty and walking away. The number associated with this read was 53, the messenger of truth. This is the catapult energy, right? The Knight of Swords rushing in. And we also had the sun and two stars. Okay. And then on the other axis, we had the Six of Pentacles. Well, there's a couple different variations on the horizontal line. So it could be the Chariot, the Nine of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Hermit. So ascending the Nine of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Hermit. Or sharing the Hermit, the Queen of Wands, and another Hermit. So two Hermits. And then the Chariot, Emperor, Hermit, Queen of Wands, and Hermit. So just a lot of people in the Chariot all ascending. The Emperor, the Hermit, the Queen of Wands, and another Hermit, which can represent the two twins. And then also the bridge of the 3D. I noticed the bridge here in this read was a child and then a sovereign, which is like a teen or 20s, and then the top one was an adult female. So it was all feminine energy in the bridge. But the 3D is the child, the 4D was the sovereign, or a teen to 20s type age group, and then the 5D was the maturation of the feminine energy, which was the Queen of Swords. So it's very much around the feminine energy. The bridging is the feminine energy. All right, so we get into the Divine Masculine, which is in front of you. And the SIRIAN Starseed deck for this Divine Masculine Twin Flame read was cut and dealt at 301 to 2, which is the Empress, and then the 1 and the 2 of the Magician and the High Priestess. So we have the first three majors here, the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Empress, which can represent the third energy of Mother Gaia. And at a little bit further down this page, at 322, the sun came out all of a sudden, but it was 22 again, so that Fool energy and the 22nd were very much coming out today. At 3:15, when I was putting out the cards, the Six of Wands, which is the Journeyman, and the Page of Wands, those clarification cards ended up being right over the two men watching in the downloads card. So the Seven of Swords card in the SIRIAN Starseed deck shows someone in a balloon receiving downloads and then dumping them down below. And in that picture, there's two men on the ground watching the balloon do this. So the Six of Wands and the Page of Wands, which could be two fire energies, could be two children as well, were coming up as those two figures watching the downloads in the Seven of Swords here. So that was kind of interesting. The read was finished at 3:20, which is the Empress and the Judgment, the final judgment. And the major arcana in this read, and don't forget, this is for the Divine Masculine Twin Flame, so it affects the masculine within the feminine as well, and it is a general read, so if it doesn't fit, don't force it to fit, okay? It's for a lot of different people. If you want a personal translation of your energy, you can always have a session with me, and all my information is below, and also on my website at twinflames3344.com, and my email is the same at gmail.com. Okay, so the major arcana for this read is the Transition card, which is Death, Alchemy, which is Temperance card, Indigo, which is the Magician card in this deck, and before the read, we'd Higher Self, which is the High Priestess, and after the read, the Hermit came up. So Scorpio, Sagittarius, and for me, Indigo, it's Gemini for sure, and Virgo, Aries always comes up for me for the Magician card as well, so it could be that as well. And then the Hermit is Virgo. So we have court cards of the Knight of Cups and the Page of Swords. And before the read, the Knight of Wands also came up. We had 2 cups, 4 swords, and 2 pentacles. There were no wands in the read today. There's wand energy there. Like the Knight of Wands came up before the read, so that's not counted in the court cards here, or the numbers that I use. So the 2 cups, 4 swords, and 2 pentacles. So a lot of swords today. Again, the masculine in his head or doing logical work or, you know, studying that kind of stuff. But all about thought. And no wands here. So the numbers, we had double 7s, and in a lesser sense, double 8s and double 9s. And the code line was all about healing and added to 16 with the number 6 and the number 10, which is the Lovers, the Wheel of Fortune, and then 16 of the Tower. So sudden events and epiphanies coming up today. And the numbers were 242, and like I said, 77, 88, and 99. 34 also came up, which is the 8 of Wands, the 67 of the Knight of Pentacles, the number 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune, 46 is the 6 of Cups, and 710, which is 0, backing up the 71, which is the 3 of Pentacles, the co-creation card for me. We also had 45 of the 5 of Cups, 56 of the 2 of Swords, 78 of the 10 of Pentacles, and 910, again, 0, backing up the 91, which was coming up as the reflection of the Sun, which for me would represent the central Sun. So there's a lot of stuff randomly that came up online when I put the code line in that's regarding healing. Nothing really striking came out in the headers, but there was something that came back to when I was processing the code line. Silicon came up. That comes up a lot in my readings. So that's always important. That was coming up under a header of lists of metalloids or things that are semi-metal. So silicon, boron, germanium, arsenic, tellurium, and antimony were the things that came up for that. Vanessa, V names. Veronica came up, and Vanessa D'Amata, AI on YouTube. And then La Première Fois, Rainbow 6 Siege, TRL, and that was YouTube on 12/11/18. And then Veronica, but as an acronym, V.E.R.O, etc. Veronica, the new AI, aka Jarvis Mark III from Iron Man, and that was 5/17/15 on YouTube. Star Citizen, Arena Commander, Advanced Training on YouTube, 7/1/14. How to give a complete cervical, femur, patella crust tie massage on YouTube, and that was 3/15/17. So that was how to do this type of massage, if you want to check that out. How to give a complete cervical, femur, ... So that should bring it up for you. The men leading Japan's, this one was very interesting. The men leading Japan's surprising sex recession. So men, we're talking about, I don't know why you're interested in that. I like reading my comic books and hanging out with my friends. That was 4/17/19, a BBC reel. And then the word ASEAN from en.wikipedia.org was coming up, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. So here's a lot of Asian, and we got Japan, and then this entry. And then 10 in the Bed, that children's song was coming up, 10 in the Bed from YouTube. And lists of the metalloids, I told you. And then IEP, the acronym for Individuality Educational Program, a transition planning program preparing young adults. 1.5 years, hormone effects, male to female, and that was on YouTube, June 16th, 13. And then 3.2.6. Semi Lagrangian, Lagrangian, advection, ADVECTION, and that was coming up from www.atmos.umd.edu, so I guess that's University of Maryland. It was coming up as some kind of math equation, Eulerian leapfrog scheme, and found conditionally stable, and then the formula was written there. I also had a header, divide the following polynomial, and that was a, what is the, an upside down V called? I forget. But anyway, it's that A, then that upside down V above the A, and then 2N dash A, that V again, lowercase n dash 6, slash, and then in parentheses again, A with the upside down V, lowercase n, and then plus 8. So that was from answers.yahoo.com, but it came up, the exact same equation came up under mathway.com. All right, so that may be significant for someone. Also, AL.com came up, which is Alabama local news. The piratebay.org came up. And now let's get right into the code line and then right into the read. So the code line about healing, transition definitely was important here, and keeping your vibration high, taking the high road. AI was coming up, but also AL and ANI, which has several meanings, which I'm going to tell you. So, and I was getting connection at 352. That was a little bit of a deep connection. So the word of the day on Wiktionary came up, effleuresse, which meant it's EFFLORESCE, which means to flower, to bloom, to burst, to come forth, to emerge, etc. To change from being crystalline to powdery by losing water of crystallization. Like salt, to seep through, like if you had salt water and you'd seep through the rocks, now it dries out, it's no longer salt water, it's just salt, and then you get the crystallization state. So the foreign word that came up was RISTI, which is a Finnish word, and it means cross, clubs, like the clubs in cards, sharp, dagger. So that word came up, and then in the code line, ANI came up, which has a lot of meanings. It means a cuckoo bird, so the masculine may think the feminine is a cuckoo bird. It also means eyes, harvest, gain, produce, sky, and water. So a lot of things mean water when you look them up. This, these, berry, nut, fruit. So the masculine might think she's a fruit as well. Neither nor even, member, belong, very, extremely. A girl's elder brother is Annie, Annie, however it's pronounced depending on the language. It's the rice harvest. It also means honey, only, ring, who, sudden, guide, rather, extremely, nearly, practically, just about, absolutely, just, exactly, generally, sufficient, enough. So all those words were coming through as that energy. And I was getting the number 76 a lot. So 76 trombones always comes up for me for that. And also, of course, the birthday of the United States. And so generally in the header here, the Divine Feminine is the lovers in transition, in the high vibe, taking the high road, and generally doing all healing, right? So talking about the feminine has her moments as well, right? Where she can be a cuckoo bird, or she can be a little fruity, right? Which may be how some of the masculines describe the divine feminines. Or they can be watery, right? So I was tearing up today for sure. But all those energies coming through about the divine feminine being the lover in transition, staying at that high vibration, taking the high road, and dealing with AI, so artificial intelligence, but also AL, which just really comes up as all, healing with all. I was also getting, like you'd say, al dente, al healing. That's what I was getting from them. So just going through the transition, and also ani is year, I think, isn't it in French? I can't remember, but it comes up as year also. Did I say that in the definitions? I don't remember, but I remembered it as water and year. So this also could be the year where the feminine lover transitions to that high vibration, takes the high road, Allah healing. All right, so getting right into the read. Let's see here, water. We start out with the Knight of Cups reversed. Beneath the Knight of Cups reversed, or there's 4 cups beneath that. are the Eight of Swords upright, the Higher Self reversed, the Knight of Wands upright, and then the Nine of Pentacles upright, which can be another sovereign. So we basically have a Knight of Wands, the Sovereign, and the Knight of Cups reversed. And that could literally be three, young adults or older children. But coming up, feeling imprisoned, which a lot of kids, I'm sure, are feeling imprisoned right now. But also the Higher Self was reversed, which means feeling imprisoned, not using their intuition, or that the secret is out. All right, whether it's about the children or about the journey, whatever it is. So perhaps rejected, jealous, or insincere after feeling imprisoned or trapped, anxious, in fear, with a secret out and a need to use their intuition. The Knight of Wands passionately rides in to the sovereign energy, starting, or maybe that's their own being single again, starting over, falling on their face, or just falling in front of the enemy, perhaps feeling like they made a fool of themselves, or cut off at the pass before they can even get near the person, taken down with armed thoughts without a physical touch or word from their mouth. The Five of Swords bodyguard of the sealed divine feminine, or his world. The Knight of Cups reversed, can't get near her or touch her. She's got protection. The worst is over, of pain to bliss, starting over in love with third party through work, allowing the Knight of Swords to take the fall. Or the Knight of Swords could have caused the fall as well. Feeling badly, grieving, trying to defend their honor. In the 3D, the Divine Feminine's guard, her own guard, caused the Knight of Cups reversed to fall. And in the 4D, grieving a grieving war widow, not only standing in the truth, but actively rushing in with the truth to the Three of Pentacles reversed, which can be a workplace or place of co-creation, but perhaps with issues, that's losing money or having issues getting along with other people at work, on pins and needles about what could come in next. Or the Knight of Cups reversed, starting over, flinging themselves at a bodyguard of a famous woman, or a partner that he thinks is his twin flame but actually isn't. So that was coming up. Or the world is a mess and upside down, right? And doesn't want to let anyone get in to see it. So that could be the masculine's world where it's a mess, so he doesn't want anyone to actually see what his real life is. So, and it was very interesting that this energy came up here, because the movie I watched last night, I watched Sergio. And at the end of the movie, a bomb went off in a building. So they're trying to get the last people who are stuck in the building. And the girlfriend of Sergio was trying to get in to see him, and the guards weren't letting her in. So that kind of energy was literally coming up right here. The guards not letting her in to see him when, when he's, stuck under a rock and may die. So that was the energy there, where the feminine was very much in distress that she may not be able to see him before he dies. Unable to sleep and rising above, or sleeping now, awakened and coming out, surrendering Fool, or an Aries perhaps, looking back, going back, or suddenly with epiphanies, and there could be Scorpio energy there too, or sudden events, of clarity, of being dumped, or dumping someone, crying, purging, peeing, vomiting, or pushed to their emotional limits, losing water. So any which way of losing water was the energy there. Feeling incomplete, world upside down, or a Pisces perhaps reversed, needing closure, and the divine feminine in another realm. After giving up and making a fool of self in the past, sudden clarity about dumping love as opposed to ending a cycle that needed to end. Streaming 1111 without rabbit ears or anything from another dimension. Like, how do you do that? And then Moss was coming up. Moss Rehab came up, which is a rehab near me, and lots of green growth. All the molehills piled up, outweighing all the love. Mold in the ceiling with lion and bull, and Michael and Thoth holding back to let the divine feminine fall a bit, so the divine masculine can lift her back up with holy communication. At 444, we have justice, divorce, and or Libra out to sea, an offer of new life, or financial offer or job offer, perhaps from a big company or a wealthy family or legacy, in a bold move or leap forward. But the energies here were Libra and Cancer. at 4:44 and then 4:47. And that's the Emperor, and the 47 is the Seven of Cups, which can be synchronicities as well, and options and choices, or too many choices when you're out shopping, right? Wanting to buy everything. Religious factors comes up, and below that was unrequited love. And I want to point out too, the cards on the table. At the end of putting out the main read in the SIRIAN Starseed deck, those were the next 3 cards in line, but I took them up because it was a Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, and then the Page of Cups, which very much can represent, it could be 3 people, it could be a mother and 2 children, it could be the Divine Masculine, the Divine Feminine, and the partner of the masculine, so it can represent a lot of different things. And then there was another 3 cards that came out from another deck next, which literally matched right up, which would make the Queen of Pentacles there a Hermit or Virgo energy. The Queen of Wands was coming up as the Knight of Swords, and the Page of Cups was coming up as Page of Cups again, so they were literally directly related. The cards over here, we have the Knight of Wands, and then this is the Ace of Swords, this is the Seven of Swords, and then the 8 of Swords. So very much like moving away from, and the Ace of Swords is reversed today, so moving away from the lies and deceptions or need to find clarity, so rushing in to do that. And this is somebody who's feeling guilty coming into the Prisoner, which is upright today. It can be their own feeling of being imprisoned, or bringing back something that was taken from the Prisoner, right? Bringing that stuff back to them, or just in a split, getting away with what they could, but feeling guilty, and still them feeling imprisoned, or bringing their energy to this imprisoned person, or going back to prison, which anyone can consider anywhere that they feel imprisoned. So the olive branch extended to 2 lovers out in the cold between twisted pillars, and perhaps some violin music, putting it out there to touch, coming together in reunion but frustrated, not burning the past, unable to conceive or be aroused, and starting over in love. So someone might say, well, how can you come together when I'm having all these issues? You know, that's not an ideal situation. 451 is the Emperor and the King of Swords, and then I was getting connection again. Sexual reunion caused major frustration, creative and sexual blocks. So if you had come together in the physical, or come together energetically, or if they had some kind of reunion with someone in their life, the sexual reunion caused major frustration, creative and sexual blocks, no longer standing at the gate, but now going across. The Divine Masculine reaching out to touch, perhaps have sex with a gift and dessert, may have gotten someone pregnant in the past, and they may have miscarried, or couldn't get aroused enough to follow through with this reunion, and that's where the gate closed. Or trying to make a struggling relationship work, but it doesn't, starting over and having compassion for self especially. And beneath that was love partnership, which is 26 again, and today's day is 26, which is the Page of Wands, being inspired. So healing, forgiving, and the Queen of Pentacles released from prison, anxiety, fear, and defenseless 2 energies of getting over grief, as dark birds go away, and the King of Pentacles reversed loses perhaps money and status, or is just feeling ungrounded, and the 10 of Cups reversed, family is over, or an emotional cycle ends. No more park bench and vanilla wafers, or Peter Pan boots, or cups left out in the yard and the grass uncut. The Queen of Pentacles upright and the King of Pentacles reversed, end a cycle of unhappiness. The Knight of Wands splits and takes some words, ideas, intellectual property with them to prison, or to a prisoner, or is anxious about taking these things, or stealing to return what was stolen from them. So a couple different situations there. So the King of Pentacles reversed, ending a family cycle, with the Knight of Cups reversed, which can be his own energy of rejection, jealousy, and insincerity, or unable to give or receive love because of past relationships, with their world upside down, or Divine Feminine in another world without closure, in a bold move or travel to start over in love and to have compassion. The recent past is the Seven of Swords, passing risky downloads on the journey, inspired to stand up for self and let go to repair. The King of Pentacles upright, in need of help, or a child that is. The High Priestess is reversed, which can be a secret that's out, or a secret passion, or a need to use your intuition because you're not. And the Queen of Pentacles at night with the kids, or with twin on journey and passing downloads at night. The King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles in the read then, in the underlying energy they're present, but the King of Pentacles is reversed. And they're together. And then they're together again in the main part of the read, but they're both upright then. But they're not right next to each other. They have a Page of Pentacles reversed between them. So that was interesting because the King and Queen of Pentacles came up together in two different areas here. So the King and Queen of Pentacles letting go to repair with a secret that's out, and the Page of Pentacles reversed between them, which can be a child who's having a tough time with their homework, or it can be a need for help, money, or opportunity between them, or an opportunist as well, or someone who always depends on others, right? So that's why they never learn, because they've learned if they don't learn, then they can just make everyone else do everything for them. So the Page of Pentacles between them, and the Queen of Pentacles perhaps with kids, or twin at night, while the Queen of Wands is without peace in disconnect, or not seeing eye to eye. The foundation is the Page of Swords upright, with news or a message, or perhaps an air child, a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra, about moving, ending a marriage, or ending a party that has to be canceled, or visiting with others, or having others visit your house in order to gain clarity with the devil energy, addictions, codependencies, and or just a Capricorn, and dumping emotions, a purge, rising above, awakening, and coming out in a magician embodiment suddenly, crown blown at 514, which is the Hierophant and the Temperance card of the angels and patience. There's definitely an energy of somebody's crown being blown suddenly here, an awakening. So at 515 then is the Hierophant and the devil, which can be like God and the devil, rising above instability and clarity, throwing them off balance through magician embodiment of the shadow side, having done shadow work, and sudden purging. The central energy here is the Six of Swords reversed, unable to find peace, with prisoner, injured, or out in the cold, or their own prison, and left behind by divine feminine in the sunshine, seeing the feminine as happy with kids and exposure of the world, upside down, him and rejection. And the King of Cups reversed, the Knight of Pentacles reversed, or the King of Cups reversed, maybe the father of the Page of Cups reversed, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed, in disconnect from the Queen of Wands, who's upright here, but with their world upside down, or fire, Pisces, Leo, and our Cancer. Or perhaps the Divine Masculine has two separate families already, the Queen of Pentacles with kids, and then the Queen of Wands, whose kids are with their dad, and the Queen of Wands without peace and disconnect at the moment. The King and Queen of Pentacles are in need of help to come together, perhaps, or at nighttime with the Queen of Wands, and in the daytime at work with kids and perhaps her father, his father-in-law, or perhaps it's his brother or partner. Kids all at work, but perhaps not at the moment because today's Saturday, but no peace. The challenge being transition, death, ending, transformation, dark night, across the 4D to the 5D, coming together and settling out in a split, a divide, a lie, or cutting through the crap. In a breakup of a relationship and or partnership at work, the Knight of Wands moving away in separation and reaping rewards. At 528 is the Hierophant and the Two of Wands, choosing a path, or the Twin Flames. And the X coming up here is not destined, not seeing eye to eye, no longer spying to catch each other, or no longer fighting with twin, or no longer fighting about twin, third party. New life or big offer, impatient to get back to work, or Sagittarius reverse, overworked in a split, seeing synchronicities, having choices to make and starting over inspired, but the King of Cups reversed is grieving, or the Divine Masculine is grieving over a King of Cups reversed, perhaps they lost someone recently, or starting over with the Page of Wands upright and the King of Cups reversed, kids, and now is the Alchemy reversed in his crowning position in his now moment. Impatience, temper flares with news of canceled trip, or no peace or peaceful place to go. Frustrated, unable to get aroused or conceive in a twist of fate, walking away without option over the 5D bridge, sludge and all, a deal with the Queen of Wands ending an emotional cycle. The Hermit with light, or dark night and the Y in the road, While in surrender, the Page of Cups reversed, unable to talk face to face, struggling with the words or the feelings in words, in downturn, slowdown, separation, or separation of work and play. That the masculine's perspective is that they have no relation to each other, right? Compartmentalizes. He doesn't associate work with play at all. Harsh lies or split and need for clarity of cheating or sexual energy, and the twins with a new life together, impatient for split to happen while stuck in 5D as lovers, the King of Wands reversed and the Page of Cups reversed, looking back and not working, being strong or with a Leo and or ego, patting their head or rubbing their chinny chin, strong memories of twins with the Queen of Swords speaking from the 5D to Taurus reversed or Hierophant reversed, or to the spiritual community at 541, which is the Hierophant and the Ace of Cups. To end conflict, to end war, and end competition for stability, or talking about divorce and breaks and contracts, and that the heart is your home, and in another world with the Divine Feminine. The big love no longer at work, the masculine in surrender, with seeing synchronicities and ready to start over. Soon is the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, legacy, community, or country even, choosing a new path to juggle and dance, new patterns. And the King of Swords took back from the dark night. It's like the King of Swords, whether that could be somebody else, not the masculine, or it can be the masculine, either one. But the King of Swords here is taking back from the dark night, taking back from death, what death cheated them or stole from them, or ending that stole from them, what was his. And the dark night found, after having that taken away from them, happiness without it, satisfaction, impatient to awaken the feeling of being rejected and suffering in silence, purging, synchronicities and heaven in their eyes, the Empress, and the King of Pentacles, boldly moving or traveling or taking the show on the road. The Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or legacy, getting their wish, or death wish in choosing to perform, or someone might be saying it's a death wish, or gets past a death wish to choose a new path and find balance, or to dance again. Perhaps performing for the troops or military, or at an air show, or in the Colosseum, or at a performance venue or traveling circus. Taurus upright, Cancer upright, Capricorn reversed, and Sag reversed, and Scorpio here. He sees himself as the Indigo upright, the Magician upright. Now, not telling the Sovereign, so not telling that he's perhaps single, or that he's become a magician embodiment, not telling, not sharing his feelings with the Sovereign, or not telling other people that he's single. The Queen of Cups spreading the word, taking hard work and judging or announcing or working hard to hear the wake-up call or make announcement to wake others. Indigo is holding back their feelings and desires from Sovereign, like I said, or just holding back their feelings about being a single person. While the Queen of Cups is maybe meditating to get news, more news, energies of the day, but also news of resistance, of people who are resisting the wake-up call, aid call, or the clarion call coming up here again. Playfulness, wedding, free yourself, chemistry, release your ex, engagement, and love yourself first all came up for the Divine Masculine here. The first card out was playfulness. And the wedding has to do with this situation involves marriage. But free yourself, right? Set yourself free. Don't fence me in. There's chemistry here. Release your ex. Engagement, something moves up to a next level. And then love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Around the Divine Masculine is the Four of Pentacles, the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, sharing with the Emperor and Empress, perhaps staying at his parents, or settling out with them, or settling out between him and a partner, letting go and opening his heart. The challenge or the block that he needs to clear here is the Three of Swords upright, heartbreak and separation, or that his heart would ever give out. Like if he works too hard, he can't imagine his heart giving out, right? He's strong, like boo. So depression and need to use intuition, or a secret passion, and synchronicities or suffering in silence, all of these in the blocks that he needs to clear, Or it's an Aquarius reverse, a Pisces reverse, with their eye on a prize in this separation. Healing came up for the masculine, but even more so creativity, spiritual career, making an effort, and nature to allow things to happen naturally and to go more green. Reaping rewards with impatient Sagittarius, or a drinker with attitude and a bad temper, perhaps a drunk night out, taking steps to surrender, to start over inspired by the King of Cups, grieving, or by grieving the King of Cups reversed, or conditions of love, ending family or emotional cycle of unhappiness. The Hermit no longer conflicted, suffering in silence, no longer conflicted, but is still suffering silence or just purging up nights, whatever their issue is, holding back feelings or energetic exchange, or had a really bad argument at 603, which is the Lovers and the Empress. Or it just could have been a negative exchange. So taking 7 steps by twos to end a cycle, perhaps a happy ending, seeing synchronicities as his guidance, the Hermit upright, no longer fighting the purge and holding feelings in. The King of Cups reversed and Page of Swords upright, indigo, divine masculine, heart passing downloads without peace, or since a trip was canceled, maybe upset, and the challenge being a major transition with the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, legacy, or community in separation, and impatient with temper flaring, taking steps by 2s, 3s, and 4s at a time to the Hermit or Virgo energy after conflict, suffering in silence, and holding feelings back. The Knight of Cups reversed, passing downloads about the end of an emotional cycle after prison anxiety of secret passion with the Knight of Wands and Sovereign. And those can be kids as well. The Page of Swords without peace or message of a move or a trip canceled, and the challenge being transition and impatience or no patience. Indigo and the 10 of Pentacles ascension, that can be a whole community ascending or even the whole country or world ascending, and the divine masculine's heart opening to separation and heaven in his eyes to Hermit, no longer fighting the purge basically without expressing everything, like not without the need to express everything and get it out there. Okay, so that was those reads. Where are we? We're at 4222. So I'll pull a couple oracle cards for you guys. So first from the energy deck, which has been really good. Everybody take a deep breath. So for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative, dark, and viral energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities. Just picture a lot of light, white light coming down over yourself, over your family, over your home, your community, the world. And really uplifting the energy, clearing all of those negative energies, and filling that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so from the energy deck, what is our advice? What do we need to know after this read? What was the point of all of this after all? First card out, second chakra, Archangel Ariel. So it's very much the sacral chakra. 36 is the 10 of Wands. So that is the weight of the world upon your shoulders, the Atlas energy of carrying too much of a load. Okay, and so this is the sacral chakra. The 10 of Wands was upright in the read, so there is a heavy load to carry here. Maybe just a little bit further. But it's to be creative and use your sexual energy to get the work done, to make it lighter, right? So there's always a better way to do your work. It doesn't have to be like that came up in the read, that work is separate from play. That work should be your play, and that's why you love to do it. We also have the 47 coming up here, the thinking woman. So this is very much the independence of the divine feminine. 47 is the 7 of Cups. So it's the synchronicities that we see and also the options that are out there for the thinking woman. Okay, so we have being creative and sexual energy, working very hard, but also following your guidance with the synchronicities, right? And perhaps using both your learned abilities, book work, as well as your psychic and intuitive abilities together, and using your creativity to pull all that information together. And then we had the angel of balance, which came up earlier as well. 48 is the walking away and within when you need to. And the desert for me definitely represents the masculine energies now of Atlantis. And this is the feminine energy standing within the masculine energy, so combining the both. So again, dancing between the masculine and feminine, and then between the 3D and the 5D. Two more cards want to come up, but before I do that, I want to show you this, because I told you in the earlier union read, I was getting the Page, the Sovereign, and the Queen of Swords. Okay, so there's kind of like that similar energy coming up. That was the bridge between the masculine and feminine, was this kind of energy, right? The young girl or the young woman, right? The sovereign woman who's very independent and on her own. And then this is more of the mother energy, right? And they're both angels around. It's very interesting because in the bridge energy, this was the Queen of Swords and this was the Page of Swords. So they're the same with the wings. You see that? So the Swords energy is like the winged energy, but the Sovereign was in the 4D, and she doesn't have wings, you notice. And she was different than the other two in the other read, too. So it's showing you the 4D place to be. Very interesting. It's like the 3D is where the children are taking over, right? Because they're already naturally elevated. And the 5D is where the feminine is taking over. But we're not fully in 5D yet. So meanwhile, our reality is the 4D, which is really coming up here. That's very interesting how that paralleled. All right, these two cards want to be seen too, though. 38 is the Queen of Cups, the 4th chakra, Archangel Raphael, which is the heart. So healing your heart. So send a lot of green energy to your heart when you focus intent on it. The Queen, this is for the feminines, the Queen of Cups. And then you're bridging to your masculine by doing work on your heart space. You can send love to them as well. And then 30 is the garden and the gate. So don't be the little girl afraid to go outside your front yard, okay? It's like, you know, Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Don't leave, you're going to get lost, you're going to get hurt. The storm's coming in. 30 is the union energy, your home. Remember that your heart is your home. And that was why I'm bringing up Dorothy, I guess, because you're supposed to remember that. Right? There's no place like home. The underlying energy here is the 13 of the financial constraints, right? The cabinet's being empty. That there's just big transformation. This is the underlying energy, though. You're feeling that strain of not knowing what's next as far as what your supplies are and financial constraints. So that's very literal there. From the, let's see, Crystal Angels deck. I'm feeling a little bit of stress in my heart, but it's actually lower than my heart. It feels like more lungs than heart today, actually. Getting some stress in the, yeah, it feels actually more lungs as opposed to heart, like more solar plexus, but towards the back. So, very interesting. So what are we in? So we're in Aries now. But we're headed towards, today's the 18th, so we're headed into Taurus. So we're going through the switch of signs. You may be feeling that as well because we're switching signs, right? Going from the ram to the bull. All right, so for the Crystal Angels, what is our advice? All right, so we have those two cards. The bottom of the deck is Smoky Quartz. Clearing negativity, release negativity from within or around you using Smoky Quartz. So continue to clear your negative energy and make sure to fill it with beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. We also have turquoise coming up for you, spiritual path. Your true beliefs are becoming clearer to you, which promotes you to make necessary life changes. Okay, so that should be natural, and it's very, very kind of, you know, going from the heart to the throat chakra there, right? Learning to speak your authentic self. And then Tanzanite, ready to love again. You're healed from the past enough to open your heart to new love. Okay, and then Tanzanite. So if you have any of these stones, you might want to wear them to help expand that energy. All right, I'm going to leave it be there. It's been a lot today. Make sure I'm going to show you the cards. Make sure you get enough water today, because even though I remind you guys, I don't always get enough water every day, so it's important. So the underlying energy there is the Knight of Cups reversed. The recent past was the Seven of Orbs. That was upright in this read. The Foundation, Seeker of Orbs, was upright. The News. I heard the news today. Oh boy. So Six of Swords or Orbs was reversed. No peace. The Challenge is Transition. That was upright today. The other underlying energies there. And then the Now Moment is the Alchemy card there. That was reversed. Tempers might be flaring. Going across the 40 bridge to the 10 of Crystals, which was upright today. The masculine sees himself as the indigo. Okay, and around the masculine is the Four of Crystals, his heart in the back cave. The blocks needs to clear is the Three of Swords, upright today. We have blue there, healing, green and yellow and pink. See the yellows? So solar plexus, heart, high heart, compassion, and then speaking your truth in order to heal with the healing card there. We end up here on the Seven of Cups, upright. We have the Hermit upright above that. We have the Five of Wands reversed above that. And the Nine of Swords upright above that. And then the Eight of Wands, which was reversed today at the top. All right, and then the underlying energies there were your throat and third eye chakras, okay? And then those were the cards that were upright and the ones over there that I told you about. Okay, so drink your water. Make sure you get enough rest. I've been feeling a little bit stressed with the rest too. I haven't been getting as much sleep as usual. And make sure you get your joy and get your nature. Is there anything else? Oh, there's something else I wanted. I'll bring it up on my next video though. Trying to remember. Yeah, loyalty's been coming up a lot recently, so I'm going to probably bring up something about that. And at any rate, rise and be love, you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Night.